Hey guys, it's Amaranth here, just going over and taking a look at the Affliction spec today. Want to go through and look at the talents, kind of like I did with the Destro and the Demo spec. First off, we'll start off with just the normal basic talents. Tier 15, you get to choose between Haunt, Withered Agony, and Drain Soul. Haunt just gives you an extra dot. Agony just ramps up your Agony to 20 instead of 10. Just a little bit more damage just off your agony itself. And then Drain Soul is just a better drain life. It does more damage than the Drain Soul does, the Drain Life does. Drain Life heals you for 200. Drain Soul only heals you for 133%, but Drain Soul does 201,000 base damage for me, 162 on the Drain Life. So it's just a better version. You offset one for the other, you get a little bit more damage for a little less heals. Contagion is just a unstable affliction. Now just increases all your damage done to the target by 15%. That's just a flat damage increase when you have your unstable affliction on, which you want to kind of keep that going as much as possible. So when that's up and running, you're gonna have more damage on a target, and you can have more damage on multiple targets if you can keep your unstable affliction up on multiple things. Absolute corruption just makes it where corruption just deals more damage, and it's just a permanent buff. It doesn't have a timer, it just stays on, I believe. The mana tap is of course just you sacrifice some mana to increase your damage. I don't think between the three of them I'm gonna go with Contagion here. Just having, yeah, it's a little bit less damage. Well, actually it's a little bit more damage. You get it's a little bit shorter damage period window because your unstable affliction only lasts for 6 seconds, 7 seconds. Mana tap lasts for 20, but does 10% damage versus 15. I like this better because you're constantly can have a longer window if you play it correctly. So this will be the one that I will end up going for. Tier 45 talents is the same as they always been. Demon Skin's just a passive heal to yourself with a bubble. Mortal Coil is just an insta heal, quick fear, and then Howl of Terror is just a terror for everything. I think Demon Skin's going to come more in handy in PvE. I think these two are going to be more likely used for PvP. There might be scenarios with the raids coming up that we might see where Howl of Terror or Mortal Coil is a good thing, but that usually doesn't happen. You have Siphon Life, Soa Seeds, and Soul Harvest increases your damage, so it's an extra burst for a short period of window. It's just another cooldown to manage if you would like to keep that. Disruption become a better version of itself. It does a little bit more damage, and it applies a different debuff to other targets. Siphon Soul is just now it's an extra dot you can add to your rotation. Quake just does a little bit of damage over time, healing you for everything that it does. 70 talents hasn't changed as in the other three specs. Still going to be going with Dark Pack here because I am running with the 90 talents. I will be choosing Gilmore of Supremacy as far as that goes. Service is okay, and Sacrifice again is for AoE. So I believe Supremacy is going to give you the best bang for your buck right now. We may see in later tiers that that's not the case, but for right now, Supremacy is going to do it. Your 100 talents is between Soul Effigy. It's basically just you target the target, you summon this little guy, and then whatever you do here mirrors to the other dude. So it's 35% of whatever you're doing. Singularity is a AoE, gives you an AoE ability, and then heals you. And then Soul Conduit is Soul Conduit. It's just whatever. Whenever you use Soul Shard, you have a chance to get refunded. Soul Conduit might be one of the best ones, but right now I think Soul Effigy is going to be the one that takes it. As far as honor talents for PvP wise, like I said, for the two PvP talents that are mainly going to be, strictly for PvP, I think, are going to be these two. Or sorry, Mortal Coil and Halter. They're going to be the ones that you want to go to as far as on and these talent specs for those. For these, they're pretty much the same up into the last two rows again. They changed. We get Endless Affliction, just increases the duration of your unstable affliction by 4 seconds. Soul Burn is just increases the duration of your unstable affliction by 10 seconds. And then Siphon Soul is just now you can have, when you have Unstable Affliction active on 2 or more targets, you generate a Soul Shard. I think the Endless Affliction is going to be a little bit better. This one might be good if you're getting Soul Shard starved in arenas, but we'll see. I think Endless Affliction is going to be the best one because they're not going to be wanting to remove it because of the silence when they have it. So it's a win-win there. You get a little bit longer dot during a PvP scenario, and it's something that they're either going to have to, choose. Do I want to take the dot or do I want to take the silence? And if I take the silence, that could really, it depends on the certain situation or the scenario. If you're going in for a kill, that could be something that it really puts a lot of strain on the opposing team's healer. Amplify Afflictions just reduces the global cooldown of all your spells, of all your curses anyway. So that's really good. That'll probably be the one that I go to. Between that and Rot and Decay, I think Drain Life refreshes the duration of all your dots. So you can, essentially with your Essence Drain, you could be Drain Lifing everything and keeping the duration of your dots up a long time. If you even just was on like one tick of Drain Life, it's just going to be boom, your stuff is refreshed. Soul Swap is the old Soul Swap. You inhale and you exhale. You get a little bit of extra damage. So it's pretty cool. Those are the honor talents. Like I said, I'll probably end up be going for Rot and Decay and Endless Affliction or Amplified. One of these two. I'm probably going to end up trying both. I'll end up trying all of them, but I think these are the ones that we're going to end up settling on. It's going to be your preference between these two, and then your preference between these two. The other ones for into the same scenario as in the Casting Circle. Is a Casting Circle, another word, is good for certain areas. Your curses are fantastic, so whichever curse you want to pick for whichever kind of comp you're going against. If you're a melee heavy comp or going against a melee heavy comp, you want Curse of Weakness. If you're going against a caster heavy comp, you want Curse of Tongues. Curse Fragility will be will be good for just like tanky comps. So anyone's running DKs for right now, or sorry, Demon Hunters right now that are becoming a little bit of a problem. That'll be a good one to have. Train of Thought, you run into the problem, you're the locker, you're probably going to be trained down for most of the time. They're not going to sit there and let you just have free cast and putting a lot of pressure on multiple targets. It's just not going to happen. You'll have a warrior sitting there training you, so you'll have this up for a couple seconds at most, so you're going to get more benefit out of the increased haste and intimidation and critical chances, damage abilities. Again, it's easy enough to keep everything at or below 80% health, so you're really not going to, that 30% extra damage that you're doing on targets above 80% health is nominal at best. It's really not that great. And then your just whichever one you prefer here. I still think the go-to is going to be the Medallion, just because it's just a insta get out of dodge or get out of crap easy. This one, if they're running a CC heavy comp, then maybe one of the other two. I could see where they come into. Just the duration is reduced. That's pretty nice. But I still think having the on use is pretty good. I'm glad they gave it to everybody, so you don't have to play a human. You just get that naturally now. So your trinkets are just stat increases. So that's pretty good. Let's move on to the artifact talents. The artifact talents, the ones that that we're gonna start with. Of course, you start off with the Reap Souls, which is those little. When I was putting up dots, you seen little dots come up here and just hit around. So those are pretty nice. you'll see them start spawning. See these little purple dots. All that is it just you bring it in. It gives you a buff. You increase your damage by 10%. So it's pretty nice to have that going. Then, surprisingly enough, the golden talents really they're great. They're okay. They're not fantastic like I've seen in the other specs where you really want to go for this one or go for that one. So it's up to you to choose which one you like the best. My suggestion would be to go over here to Harvester of Souls. It's just a little bit extra damage coming in and a little bit heals, and then Wrath of Consumption. But really, the where you're going to shine at as an Affliction lock is going for the intermediate talents. Those are the ones that you're gonna see a lot more substantial damage increase coming in, and I think the route that you go in that area is going to really help you shine better if you can choose those talents correctly first before really worrying about going to the golden talents. It's going to be great. Now the ones where you're going to have the golden talent is your corruption. Just increases the damage of your corruption by 4%. The hideous corruption. Unless you have one of your relic slots baked into this one, which wouldn't be a bad idea just because it's going to be so long for you to have that one come up. And then this one, of course, is your shadow damage is increased. So I think you'll probably get a little bit more out of this one, but these two you're going to have to go to one. The route that I would take first, like I said, it would be Harvester of Souls if you're going to go for a golden one just because you want it. And the route that I would go would be increases this one inherit instability. Do that one, go up to Agony, go down to Shadows of Flesh, and then hit this one if you're going to work your way back, get Compounding Horror. Each time your Agony and Corruption deal damage, they have a 10% chance to increase the shadow damage dealt by your next unstable affliction by 5%, stacking up to 5 times. So that's just a great talent. I really wouldn't. You don't really have to worry about that one. And then once you've gotten this talent, I would say go and get this one, or even before you go and get this talent, go and get this one, and then work your way down here. Come back and because you can already have that one filled out 3 times, I would go to here, Sweet Souls. If somebody uses a Hellstone, you're going to get healed back for it. It's just going to be a nice little passive healing that you can get it. And Soul Stones are pretty nice in raids. I know as being one of the only locks in my raids most of the time. For the last couple of expansions, people love their Soul Stones. So, in Perdition, this one's going to be a fantastic. Increases the critical strike damage dealt by Agony, Corruption, Drain Life, and Unstable Affliction by 3%. Those are all your talents, or all your spells. so really, like I said, I would use the artifacts to kind of power up these two if you can. Get those going, and then roll your way down this way. This is probably the absolute last golden talent I would take, Soul Flame. It's okay. It's fine for an AoE situation, but you're not going to see a lot of damage increase with just this one. This will probably be the last one that I go for. I will go for this one second, but like I said, the golden ones are not going to be my top priority. It's going to be going into these little ones and making sure that I get a lot of those back. Just having the extra damage dealt on Drain Life, and i.e. Drain Soul if you spec into it. This one's not too bad. The Faint of Echoes. The only reason why I say don't take it over this one is because if you're going for this one, that you need it. This one doesn't connect. However, I do like this one over this one if I'm not worried about going for that one. So it's really not too bad. It amazes me that the little talents are, in my mind, better than the big talents. These are where you're going to see a lot more of your big buff to your damage versus these golden ones, which is I'm hoping when if they do what they said they're going to do and introduce more artifact talents into as the expansion goes on, that these golden ones get better. Which if they do like they did with tier sets always get better as they go. So I could see that being the case. As far as stat wise, your main stat's going to be haste. You can do a combination of haste mastery. You're as soon as you hit, I would say probably around 35-40% haste. That would be a good buffer to hit right now. You might not hit that for a while, but those would be the goals that I would go for. That's the goals that I'm going to try to hit. When I'm playing Affliction, is I want to be, even with demo, is I want to be around 40% haste. You're just going to see things ticking so fast, being able to refresh things, keeping your soul shards regenerated really fast. It's going to be just that you're going to see the best results at around those margins. Mastery is just a flat damage increase to all your spells, so or to all your dots anyway. So as far as those are the two stats I would go for. You might end up having more mastery than you do haste, just natural gear selection. So that's not going to kill you if you do, but the more haste you have, the happier you'll be, the more damage you will do. As far as the pets and stuff, like I said, I'm going to be running Supremacy. Again, this is going to be the best pet overall, I think, just because of in a multi-dot situation, he doesn't have to worry about travel time. You're going to see he can just turn and swap like you can and just start hitting other targets without really having to travel like the fell puppy has to. Even the succubus in that scenario is going to be a little bit better. So pretty simple. The rotation hasn't changed much since last expansion. It's just, apply your dots, keep your dots going. The only real thing is you now have a couple little extra cooldowns to go. If you're looking for something just a little bit, just straight line, just efficiency, which you don't have to manage an extra dot or two, I would say go with Drain Soul, go with Soul Harvest for here, and then Soul Conduit. Those would be the ones that they're going to give you just passive abilities that are going to increase your damage, not give you extra stuff to manage and stuff. If you're wanting for a little bit more involved gameplay, Soul Effigy, Siphon Life, Haunt, just those are the ones that are going to be the ones that give you a little bit more stuff to do. And I think those will be the ones that if you can manage to do correctly, you're going to see the greatest benefit out of that. So there you go. As far as that goes, guys, I hope you enjoy. If you'd like to see something as far as a little bit different videos, just give me a comment. If you like the videos, please like, subscribe, and I'll try to keep these coming out at least twice a week. I do thank you for everybody that has subscribed so far. I thank for everybody that has watched so far. It's been been getting some really awesome feedback as far as some of the videos. So just please keep it up, and if you like it, just tell your friends. Again, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you very much. Have yourself a great day.